Welcome everyone. This is Alveoly E-learning. My name is MK Obin. I'm one of your course instructors at Alveoly E-learning. The main purpose of Alveoly E-learning is to make learning simple and easier for all students, irrespective of where you are. All you have to do is to get access to a mobile phone, a computer or a laptop with an internet. Then you just sign up to www.alveoly.com. Okay, then you just get your pen and paper. When you log in, you have access to various courses. Then with the course that you have your interest in or you have difficulties in, then you sign up to those courses. All right, so we said it's very important for us to check the vital signs, and our next line is to check patient weight. Okay, you know our weight is made up of our fluid compartment. So if you are going to drain some amount of fluid, it's very important for us to check the weight so that we will know the baseline data. Okay. Then we also have to check patient abdominal girth. So it is very important for us to know the abdominal girth of the patient as a baseline data. So basically, all these things are important things that we have to do before we start the procedure. Now let's look at how patient is positioned during paracentesis abdominis. So under position, the patient usually sits at the edge, of the end of the bed. So if there is the bed, they can either sit here or sit here at any edge, so that you see the abdominal content will be able to descend well for you to do the tapping. Or you can let the patient be in bed but in the sitting down position. So basically, those are the positions that we usually use to do our tapping. Then during the procedure, what you have to do as a nurse is that, one, you'll be encouraging patients as well. Then let me add this to the position. Usually you have to provide privacy. Okay, it's very important. So you provide privacy, you position your patient, you bring your trolley, then you assist the doctor in the performance of the procedure. Then during the procedure, you check patient vital signs. To be specific, the blood pressure, because we said the tapping of the fluid can lead to an abrupt tap of the fluid can lead to hypotension. So to prevent that, you do continuous monitoring of patient blood pressure to prevent the patient from going into hypotension. After the procedure has been done, it's very important to monitor the color, the amount, the constituents of the fluid. Okay, then you record the amount of fluid in your fluid intake and output charts. Then it's very important to also observe the gauze that was placed on where the incision was done, so that when there is bleeding, you can report. Then the necessary steps can be taken. Then also we can recheck patient vital signs again. That's temperature, pulse, respiration, and blood pressure. Then we can also recheck patient weight for us to know the difference that has occurred. So basically, that is all that we have to know about paracentesis abdominis. And also, checking of patient level of consciousness is also very important after the procedure has been done. So thank you very much. Just remember the basic points that we talked about in paracentesis abdominis. We said paracentesis abdominis is tapping of an amount or a small portion of fluid from the abdomen, to be specific, the peritoneum. Then in tapping of the fluid, we are not draining all the fluid. If we drain all within a day, it might lead to hypotension, which might be detrimental or dangerous for the patient. Hence, we tap the fluid gradually. So maybe today we will tap 1 liter, maybe the next day we will tap 1.5, maybe in 2 weeks' time we will tap like 3 liters. So we are tapping just a portion of the fluid to relieve patients of difficulty in breathing. So basically that is that. Then we said in performance of such procedure, the most important thing that we have to do is explain procedure to the patient, and to be specific, we need to what? Explain it to the extent that we will reinforce the signing of what? Consent form, because the procedure is what? An invasive procedure. Then we also said that it is very important to allow patient to void. Why? Because per the location of the bladder, if the urinary bladder is full and we are not careful, we might puncture the bladder in the course of doing paracentesis abdominis. Hence, it is very, very important to allow the patient to void or to urinate or to empty the urinary bladder to prevent accidental puncturing of the bladder. Then we also said we have to check what? Vital signs. To be specific, the patient what? Blood pressure is very, very important, as well as monitoring of what? The patient weight, checking of patient what? Abdominal girth. Okay, then after the procedure is done, we do same by checking patient weight, by checking patient abdominal girth, by checking patient what? Blood pressure as well. Then we have to empty our urine bag, okay, or let me put it this way, our bag where the acidic fluid contains. Then we have to check what? The color, the constituents, the amount of what? The acidic fluid what? Drainage. Then we'll document it. Documentation is very important in nursing. So with documentation, you have to state the amount, the color, the constituents of the fluid that was drained, and the general condition of the patient after the procedure has been done. Documentation is very, very important. Then you record the amount of fluid in your fluid intake and output chart. Very, very important, because you are to balance the fluid intake and output chart after 24 hours. So if you don't document it in it, how will we know the amount of fluid that has gone out within 24 hours? So it's very, very important. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Alveoly E-learning will do everything possible to make Alveoly students have easy access to education. Thank you so much.